I opened my eyes. I was in a room with wooden walls, long planks bolted at the corners. I tried to speak, but my throat felt thick, rasping, useless. I tried to breathe deeply and then mentally check down my body. Arms, legs, feet, all working. When I felt down my legs, my jeans were gone, my legs bare. Your clothes are beside the bed. I flinched at the sound of your voice. I could hear you taking steps, coming towards me. I tried curling up, tried getting away. Everything was heavy, slow. I was in a bad place. I knew that much. But I didn't know how I got there, and I didn't know what you'd done to me. Why? I whispered. I had to take you. How long will you keep me? Forever. According to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, every year more than 58,000 children are abducted, when 16-year-old Gemma is taken from a Bangkok airport by 24-year-old Thai and taken to the middle of the Australian outback. She's forced to learn the sad, deluded motives behind the man who took her. Written as a letter to her captor, Gemma explores her conflicting emotions after being rescued in Stolen by Lucy Christopher. You saw me before I saw you. In the airport that day in August, you had that look in your eye as though you wanted something from me. Nobody's ever looked at me before with that kind of intensity. I remember the chemical smell of that cloth over my face, the hazy jolts and sway of being in your car. My chest tightens as I picture my body curled up and contorted, thrown in like a piece of luggage. Australia. That's where you took me. For 17 days in the desert, without civilization for miles. It was nothing like being in England. Last year, when my dad drove us 2 hours west, we'd ended up in Wales, another country. But there, in that desert, the more we drove, the hotter and redder it became. The more I feared I'd never be able to get out. On the 17th day, you left me a note. Gone to catch a snake. That's when it all fell apart. I got bit and you couldn't help me and had no choice but to take me to the hospital. I remember waking up in the hospital and asking where you were. But a woman's voice told me that I didn't have to worry about you anymore. And that my parents were on their way. I heard Mom's voice first, high and shrill, echoing down the corridor. And then all at once they were all in my room. Mom, Dad, a white-coated doctor, and 2 police officers. They were all watching me, assessing me. They made me talk to psychologists, counselors, therapists, doctors for this and doctors for that. None of them left me alone. And the reporters were waiting for me everywhere. I was no longer just an ordinary schoolgirl. You'd made me famous, Ty. You'd made the whole world fall in love with me, and I hated it. I couldn't do it. Even now, there's still more than a month till the trial, despite the court agreeing to prioritize your case. I can almost feel you somewhere in this city. You're thinking about me too. That day in court could have 2 different endings, starting with how I know you. In the first instance, I'll tell them exactly what they want to hear. I'll tell them how you followed me, how you stalked me. I'll tell them about your deluded thoughts and your inability to fit in. And then they'll ask about the airport. And I'll tell them how you drugged me and stole me. I'll tell them about the long, lonely nights in that small wooden shack. How I waited for you to kill me. And I won't look at you through the testimony. I'll just say exactly what they expect. The judge will bash his little hammer and everything will finally be over. But there is another way. I could tell the courtroom a story about how we met when I was 10 and you were almost 19. I could tell the courtroom how we fell in love. Not in the desert, of course, but winding through the streets and parks of London. When I was 14 and looked so much like your mom. And then I'll tell them of your plan. You said you knew the perfect place to run away to. A place covered in blood-red earth and sleeping life. It's a place for disappearing, you said. And I could say that I agreed. Right now, I hate you for everything. For making me feel so helpless everywhere that I go. For all the confusing thoughts in my head. For turning my life upside down and smashing it into shards. But I hate you for something else too. Right now, and every moment since you left me, all I can think about is you. I want you with me. I want your arms around me, your face close to mine. And I know I can't, shouldn't have it. And that's what I hate the most. That you kidnapped me. You put my life in danger. But I love you. Or I thought I did. Because let's face it, Ty, you did steal me. But you saved me too. And somewhere along the way, you showed me this place. This place so different and so beautiful that I can never get it out of my mind. I can't get you out either. I'm so tired, but when I sleep, I'll have that dream again. I'll be in the desert, digging with my bare hands. And when I've made a hole big enough to plant a tree, I'll place my hands inside and I'll slip off the ring you gave me. It'll catch the light and glint a rainbow of color across my skin. But I'll take my hands away, leaving it there, and I'll bury it, back where it belongs. Then I'll wake up. Goodbye, Ty. Love, Gemma.